Thanks for joining us for the executive series. Today I'm talking to Scott Charlton, who is the CEO of Transurban. Scott, it's great to talk to you again.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having us.
And particularly after reporting such a positive set of numbers for the full year. By your standards, you like to look at proportional numbers.
That's
so
correct.
Proportional EBITDA up nicely in the last 12 months, up by about 15%. So what stood out for you in the numbers?
Yeah, no, it's a great set of results, and that's back on a lot of investment that we've made over the last sort of 3 or 4 years into the networks in Sydney and acquisitions in Brisbane. So we had 2 new assets coming on in Brisbane, Legacy Way and Airport Link through acquisitions. We had the continued growth in the Sydney network, both strong economic underlying growth, but we've made some big investments on widening the M2, the M5, and upgrades in technology. So that's all paying for our shareholders, and now we're looking forward to the next round of projects.
Now, you're in an enviable position of being able to have a little bit of pricing power in the product. How important is that in a low interest rate environment?
Well, look, we are privileged in our position, but the pricing power comes through the concession agreement, so it's regulated by the government, but the allows us to raise the tolls usually on a quarterly basis, either in line with inflation or sometimes a little bit ahead of inflation. So, yeah, we are in a great position. Inflation's low, that does help us, but CPI is lower, so that does in some of our roads isn't fantastic, but it is a good position to be in. But we're trying to provide value to our customers so they can choose to use the road and see value in time savings in their trips.
Indeed. So there's also value for your investors because you've outlined that you'll be paying double-digit distributions in the next 12 months. So that's obviously being warmly received.
Yes, no, that's been great. It's been, I guess, a feature of Transurban over the last period of time, and we continue to see that over the medium term because the investments we're making in upgrading the networks, very strong population demographics in all of basically the cities that we're in, and some good arrangements that we have with our state governments, but again, working with them to add value and improve our customer service as well.
That's probably quite an important factor when at the moment, some governments are a little bit constrained in terms of their spending capacity. Does that help you in terms of the position you occupy?
Look, at the end of the day, governments put up their business cases and they look at it between borrowing and alternatives, and that is a factor, but more important factor when they put up their business cases is how can we beat their cost of capital by providing better service, better customer service, better procurement, better delivery. A lot of things on the operations side that we can enhance, and I think government sees that as more important than necessarily capital. There are places like New South Wales where they have capital through recycling, but they still see that Transurban can offer alternatives through the services that we bring.
Okay, and you have also got a very good development pipeline as well, which is an important feature of the future for Transurban.
Yeah, again, we feel privileged to be in the position we are. We've got a $9 billion development pipeline that we're prosecuting, which will, again, allow earnings growth to continue out into the future and at the same time provide, again, value to the clients and productivities of our cities. And again, very privileged position that what benefits Transurban also benefits the cities where we operate. So it's a great position, and long term, both Sydney and Melbourne, we see further development opportunities with those strong population growth.
And is it a similar dynamic as far as the US businesses are concerned?
Yeah, well, certainly in the greater Washington area, that's a very similar dynamics to growth in population and productivity and economic growth. So certainly that Washington area. Hopefully over time we can find some other opportunities in the North American environment. But right now, there's so much happening in our core 4 markets. That's where we're focused.
Great to talk to you again, Scott. Thanks for your time.
Great. Thank you, Tom. Cheers.
And thanks for joining us for the executive series.